Lightning cracked the Denver sky as Connor Matthews gripped the steering wheel tighter. The rain hammered Interstate 25 like bullets on metal, each thunderclap sending electric jolts through his scarred hands. Another PTSD episode. Not tonight. Not when Lily was waiting. The former Marine squinted through the windshield, his beat-up Honda struggling against the storm. 12 hours of work today, 6 at the garage on Colfax Avenue, 6 driving Uber through Capitol Hill, all to keep the lights on for his 7-year-old daughter sleeping at the babysitter's. That's when he saw him, a figure in an expensive suit standing on the Spear Boulevard Bridge, swaying dangerously close to the railing. Connor's military instincts kicked in. He'd lost too many brothers in Afghanistan to ignore the signs again. Connor pulled over, rain soaking through his mechanic's uniform as he approached. The man was maybe 36, polished even in his breakdown, clutching a bottle of whiskey like a lifeline. "Get away, you nobody," the stranger slurred, mascara-stained eyes wild with rage. "I don't need some blue-collar hero playing savior." Connor recognized the desperation behind the cruelty. He'd seen it in foxholes, in VA waiting rooms, in his own mirror after Sarah died. "Sir, I'm not leaving," Connor said quietly. "Whatever's happening, it's not worth this." The man laughed bitterly. "You have no idea who I am. Marcus Wellington. I build companies, not fix cars. And tonight I lost everything." Connor stepped closer, ignoring the rain and the venom. "My name's Connor Matthews, and I know what it feels like to lose everything too." Something in Connor's voice broke through Marcus's armor. The tech CEO stumbled forward, Connor catching him before he could fall over the edge. "Why would trash like you help someone like me?" Marcus mumbled as Connor guided him toward the Honda. "Because someone's got to," Connor replied simply. The drive to Marcus's Cherry Creek mansion was silent except for the rain and Marcus's occasional bitter laughter. When they arrived at the gates of 2500 East 6th Avenue, Marcus turned to Connor one final time. "Just walk away, idiot," he said harshly. "People like you always want something back." Connor helped him to the door, made sure he had his keys, then drove away without a word. He didn't know this broken encounter would soon reshape both their lives forever. Hey friends, if stories about second chances and unexpected kindness speak to your heart, make sure to subscribe to Heart Stories and hit that like button. Sometimes the most beautiful connections begin in our darkest moments. Connor's hands shook as he unlocked his Capitol Hill apartment, the thunderstorm triggering memories of Afghanistan, mortar fire, screaming, the discharge paper that ended everything when they discovered his secret. Don't ask, don't tell had destroyed his military career, and his Baptist family in Amarillo, Texas, had finished the job. "You're no son of ours, you perverted sinner." His father had said, "Get out and don't come back." The marriage to Sarah had been survival, not love. A beard for him, protection for her from her own demons. When she died in that car accident 2 years ago, Connor was left with Lily, a mountain of debt, and PTSD that medication barely controlled. Meanwhile, Marcus Wellington woke in his Cherry Creek mansion with a crushing hangover and deeper shame. The Denver Business Journal headline stared back at him from his phone, tech CEO outed in revenge scandal. His ex-boyfriend Jake had destroyed 15 years of careful closeting with a single vindictive email blast. The board meeting was in 3 hours. Presbyterian family money from Boston wouldn't save him now. Harvard MBA meant nothing when your sexuality became corporate liability. Marcus pulled up the security footage from last night, studying the man who'd saved him, Connor Matthews. Veteran plates on a Honda that had seen better days. Military posture even in exhaustion. Why would a struggling veteran save someone like me? That afternoon, Marcus drove to Connor's auto repair on historic Colfax Avenue. The garage smelled like motor oil and hope deferred. Mexican radio played softly. Photos of a beautiful little girl decorated Connor's workbench. Connor looked up from under the hood of an old Chevy, grease-stained and wary. "Can I help you?" Marcus had practiced this speech, but the words came out raw instead. "I owe you an apology and a thank you. Last night I said terrible things." Connor straightened, recognition flickering across his weathered face. "You were having the worst night of your life. People say things, No excuse for what I said. Marcus insisted. You saw someone in crisis and helped. Most people see the PTSD and run. You see it and stay. The admission hung between them like morning mist over the Rockies. Two broken men, different backgrounds, same wounds underneath. Connor wiped his hands on a rag. Why'd you really come here? Because, Marcus said quietly, I spent 15 years hiding who I am to protect an image, and a stranger who's lost everything still chose kindness. I need to understand that. Connor studied him for a long moment. VA Medical Center downtown has support groups. Tuesdays at 7. Maybe you'd understand better there. As Marcus drove away, he realized something had shifted. The man who'd saved him wasn't looking for gratitude or money. He was offering something rarer. Community, understanding, a way forward that didn't require hiding anymore. Sometimes healing begins when you're finally ready to stop running from yourself. The center on Colfax hummed with quiet energy Tuesday evening. Connor sat in the Veterans Trauma Group circle, listening to stories that echoed his own Afghanistan nightmares. Across the hallway, Marcus attended his first newly out professionals meeting, hands trembling as he introduced himself. I'm Marcus. I'm 36, and I just lost my company for being gay. The facilitator, Maria Rodriguez, had been watching both men for weeks. After group, she introduced them properly in the lobby beneath rainbow flags and community resource posters. You both carry the same weight, she observed gently. Different battles, same war. Connor was struggling at home. Lily faced bullying at Steele Elementary. Your daddy is gay and going to hell. Second graders chanted, echoing parents' whispered hatred. The school meeting with other parents had been brutal. Uncomfortable glances. Conversations that stopped when Connor walked by. Marcus faced his own discrimination. The Wellington Tech Board meeting had been a corporate execution disguised as strategy. CFO David Chen's barely concealed homophobia poisoned every interaction. Company image suffering due to leadership choices. He'd said, not even trying to hide his meaning. But Thursday evening found them together at the Denver Art Museum. Daniel Libeskin's Angular Architecture, housing an LGBTQ+ artists exhibition. Connor surprised Marcus with his knowledge of street art and community murals. Marcus shared art history, pointing out techniques and cultural contexts. Dinner at Mercantile Dining and Provision in lower downtown revealed their class differences starkly. Connor studied the menu prices with practiced anxiety, while Marcus ordered wine that cost more than Connor's weekly grocery budget. Outside the restaurant, the pressure triggered Connor's panic attack. Chest tight, vision tunneling, hands shaking like Afghanistan mortar fire. Marcus stayed calm, using techniques from his own therapy sessions. Breathe with me, Marcus said quietly. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. You're safe, you're here, you're not alone. When Connor's breathing steadied, Marcus didn't ask questions. He just walked beside him toward Connor's Honda. Presence steady as mountain stone. I can't afford this world, Connor finally said, and I can't survive in mine without someone real. Marcus replied, maybe we're not trying to fit into each other's worlds. Maybe we're building a new one. The next week, Marcus appeared at Connor's garage wearing jeans and work boots. I want to learn, he said simply. Teach me. Connor watched this polished tech executive struggle with basic tools, laughing when Marcus couldn't tell a Phillips head from a flathead screwdriver. But Marcus kept showing up, learning, listening to Connor's stories of working-class Denver, Casa Bonita, Rockies games, Red Rocks concerts under Colorado stars. Cultural exchange flowed both directions as Connor discovered art galleries, theater districts, neighborhoods he'd never explored. The sexual tension building between them felt dangerous and necessary. Both men carried betrayal scars. Both feared vulnerability. But healing sometimes requires falling before you can learn to trust someone will catch you. The lawsuit arrived on a Tuesday that felt like Judgment Day. Harold and Patricia Wells, Lily's maternal grandparents, filed for custody with devastating precision. Unfit father due to mental illness and lifestyle choice. Their legal brief declared, weaponizing Connor's PTSD and sexuality against everything he'd built. Simultaneously, Wellington Tech's hostile takeover accelerated. Conservative investors smelled blood in the water, targeting Marcus's company with surgical corporate cruelty. The Denver media picked up both stories, sensationalizing the connection. Tech CEO's gay romance threatens company future, screamed the headlines. Protesters appeared outside Connor's garage like biblical locusts. Westboro Baptist-style signs declared eternal damnation for anyone who dared love differently. Capitol Hill neighbors split down ideological lines. Some hung rainbow flags in solidarity, while others filed formal complaints about neighborhood safety. Connor's world was collapsing. The VA had cut his disability benefits during the bureaucratic review process. Lily cried herself to sleep, confused by the hatred surrounding her small family. Connor considered packing everything and disappearing into American anonymity. That's when Marcus's privilege became a weapon for justice instead of protection. He hired Holland and Hart, Denver's most prestigious law firm, for Connor's custody battle, created an emergency fund for LGBTQ veteran support through Wellington Tech's remaining resources. Then he stood before his board with the quiet courage of a man who'd finally stopped apologizing for existing. "Fire me if you want, but I won't hide who I am anymore," Marcus declared during the emergency meeting. This company succeeds because of inclusion, not despite it. The community rallied at Confluence Park, where the South Platte and Cherry Creek meet in downtown Denver. The Center on Colfax organized the gathering. Connor's Marine buddies Jake and Tommy drove up from Colorado Springs. Marines don't abandon Marines, they said simply. Marcus's assistant, Rosa Martinez, had secretly organized employee support, revealing the board's discrimination had alienated most of the workforce. Young programmers wore rainbow pins. Veteran employees shared their own coming-out stories. The solidarity was organic and powerful. In couples therapy at Denver Health's LGBTQ+ services, both men confronted their internalized shame. Connor admitted he'd never believed he deserved support. Marcus faced his own homophobia, the years spent looking down on flamboyant gay men while hiding behind heteronormative privilege, during a thunderstorm that would have triggered Connor's worst PTSD episode. Marcus held him instead of running. The first "I love you" came whispered against rain-soaked windows, Connor's trigger becoming their healing moment. The legal victories followed emotional ones. The custody case was dismissed when Judge Patricia Morrison ruled Connor an exemplary father despite challenges. Wellington Tech employees voted no confidence in discriminatory board members. Stock prices actually rising as investors realized the company's inclusive culture drove innovation. Love doesn't ask permission to exist. It just demands the courage to defend itself. 6 months later, Red Rocks Amphitheater provided the cathedral they'd never had. Colorado mountains witnessed their vows while chosen family filled hand-built wooden benches. Maria Rodriguez from the Center on Colfax officiated, her words echoing off natural stone walls. Lily served as flower girl, declaring to anyone who'd listen, "Now I have Papa Connor and Papa Marcus." Her joy dissolved any remaining tension among wedding guests who traveled from support groups, Marine units, and tech conferences. The legal adoption ceremony at Adams County Courthouse made everything official. Judge Morrison, who'd ruled in their custody case, smiled as she declared Marcus Wellington Matthews Lily's legal father. 3 signatures transformed strangers into family. Their renovated Victorian in the trendy Highlands neighborhood became headquarters for Matthews Wellington Automotive. Connor's garage expanded into a full-service shop with inclusive hiring policies and veteran preference programs. Marcus discovered he enjoyed manual labor, finding peace in work that produced tangible results instead of abstract quarterly reports. The Center on Colfax partnership created automotive training for LGBTQ+ youth aging out of foster care. The Wellington Foundation allocated $2 million for LGBTQ+ veteran support, addressing gaps in VA services that had failed Connor and thousands like him. Connor began speaking at VA Medical Center seminars about acceptance and healing. His story resonated with closeted veterans carrying double trauma. Some battles end, but warriors find new missions. Lily's school presentation about different families sparked conversations instead of confrontations. Her confident explanation of 2-dad households educated classmates and parents alike. Mrs. Johnson, her teacher, invited other diverse families to share their stories throughout the year. They returned to Spear Boulevard Bridge where everything began, installing a small memorial plaque, in memory of those we lost, in hope for those we save. It read, Connor traced the engraved words with calloused fingers. Sometimes the person you save ends up saving you back, he said quietly. Sunday picnics at Washington Park became their ritual. Marcus teaching Lily guitar while Connor worked on his vintage motorcycle restoration project. Neighborhood kids played together without stares or whispered comments. Normal felt revolutionary. Their love story proved that kindness doesn't calculate returns, that healing happens in community, and that the most powerful revolution is simply refusing to hide who you are. When have you had to choose between safety and authenticity? Your story matters to someone still fighting that battle. Share your experience in the comments below. Subscribe to Heart Stories for more tales of chosen family, second chances, and love that overcomes every obstacle. Remember, it gets better, and you are never alone.